Social Security Administration withdrew planned changes originally announced in mid-March to its customer service processes that would have resulted in significant inconveniences and longer wait times to resolve even routine customer service needs. Those changes would have forced many Illinoisans, especially those in rural areas with mobility challenges or without internet access, to wait on hold for hours, make appointments, or take time off work simply to access their earned benefits. The proposed changes were unacceptable. Thanks to the hard work of AARP members who sent more than 2 million emails and calls to members of Congress, including nearly 100,000 messages sent from our members here in Illinois alone, the Social Security Administration listened. The Social Security Administration confirmed to AARP that beginning April 14th, they will allow all claim types to be completed over the telephone as previously had been. This includes retirement, survivors, and auxiliary benefits that SSA previously announced would require in-person identity proofing, in addition to Social Security disability insurance, Medicare, and SSI. As a result, AARP Executive Vice President and Chief Advocacy and Engagement Officer Nancy Lamond stated, "This is great news for older Americans. We appreciate SSA listening to AARP and millions of Americans about the impact on their lives and providing better access to customer service for Social Security benefits. SSA's guarantee of phone access for claims is a win for older Americans, and we look forward to further improvements in their customer service." While this is a good step forward, we know more must be done to correct the long-standing customer service issues at the Social Security Administration. Improving customer service at SSA has long been a focus of AARP on behalf of our millions of members, including 1.7 million members right here in Illinois, several of whom are standing here with me. More than 1 in 6 Illinois residents, that is nearly 2.3 million, receive Social Security benefits. More than 40% of individuals 65 and older in Illinois rely on Social Security for half or more of their income in retirement, and nearly 20% of individuals rely on it for at least 90% of their income. We consistently hear how vital Social Security is to older Americans and how much they depend on services provided by the Social Security Administration, whether it be over the phone, online, or face-to-face at local field offices. We often hear our members' frustrations, or worse, when they can't get good customer service from SSA. As an example, well before these now rescinded changes were proposed, I was in Quincy simply talking to a group of older adults at the local senior center about how Social Security operates and to answer their questions. When I mentioned they could access ssa.gov to either get many of their questions answered, check their benefit statements, etc., they responded, "That's easy for you to say, but we don't have access to high-speed internet. Even though we live near Quincy, ssa.gov is not a reliable option. We need strong customer service from the local office or need someone to pick up the phone, and that has been a huge challenge. It's not easy to get an appointment at the local office, even if they're open, and calling means a long wait." This is just one example from a room full of concerned older adults in Quincy. Yet, since that day last year, when what was once a persistent concern has now become a crisis, our members are deeply concerned by the rapid deterioration in Social Security customer service. For most of last year, SSA maintained a busy rate of 0%, but that has since changed, skyrocketing in March to nearly 1 out of every 3 callers getting a pre-recorded message that the lines are too busy and are then hung up on by SSA. For those lucky enough to get their call answered, they often wait up to 2.5 hours or more for a call back. This rapid decline in performance is deeply alarming. We continue to receive growing complaints that the Social Security website is unreliable and frequently crashes. According to reports, SSA's online portal suffered 5 outages in March alone, including a full outage on March 31st. More must be done, and Congress must provide the Social Security Administration with the oversight and resources necessary to deliver the quality customer service Americans have earned. We are committed to advocating for accessible, timely, and user-friendly services from the SSA, and we still need your voice in this fight to create better customer service. I'd like to invite a few of our members and volunteers to stand to share their story. First up, Candace Trees.
Good afternoon. My name is Candace Trees. I have been receiving Social Security for 10 years. However, I have a brother that lives with me, and we have, when we signed him up, it took a while to get the services that he needed to have because it just was a long time getting through the process. He is not technically savvy, and so I've been trying to help him maneuver the website. That's very difficult for him, and those things need to be easier in terms of working with Social Security. When we call, sometimes, as Ryan has stated, it just takes forever and ever and ever to get through, and that's just, it becomes very frustrating for him as a male that's not technical, that's, just frustrating, and it just becomes even more frustrating. We finally were able to get him set up and going, and so far, so good. We haven't had too many issues at this point in time, but I know personally for myself, I now have to, I have the ID me, but now there's another layer I believe that I'm going to have to go through now to get onto the website, and that's kind of frustrating for me, and I think I'm pretty smart technically, but I don't look forward to having that extra layer because with the ID me, that's supposed to provide that extra security and that extra level. And so I've had to print off something that has, I think it's 9, 10, maybe 12 digits that I have to have that has letters and numbers and symbols and all of that. There's no way that I can remember all of those things. So I've got it printed off. Now I have to remember in what file drawer that I put it under what name so that I know where I've hidden it from myself. So, I just hope that those things can become better and that we can work through those things and that they will make it easier for those people who are not of the age of technical and they don't know how to maneuver those types of things. So, Ryan, thank you, and I look forward to doing more with this in the future.
Thank you, Candace. Next up, we have Sandra McAvoy.
Thank you, Ryan. My name is Sandra McAvoy, and I am an Illinois State volunteer. I enjoy my position working here with the legislature. I have paid into Social Security along with my employers for nearly 40 years. Now, as a retiree, I count on my Social Security benefits, and they actually provide more than half of my monthly income. That income has enabled me to live independently and very comfortably. And I urge Congress and this administration to strengthen not only the program, but the customer service. I didn't know until this very press conference that I needed a second layer of identification getting onto the computer. So I'm going to get to know Candace very well. And I thank you for your time, and again, urge Congress to strengthen Social Security.
Thank you, Sandra. And next up, we have David Lanier.
Thank you, Ryan. I'm going to read this because, again, this is something that actually is very real for me and very present for me. In 2025, the United States will distribute approximately $1.6 trillion in Social Security benefits to 73 million Americans. Most have contributed to the program, planned their lives in anticipation of the program, earned it, and now they want it. I am one of those 73 million. 4 months ago, I went to the regional office for an in-person service. People were lined up outside in the door in frigid temperatures for in-person services. I decided to come back because, again, it was just too many people. On my second visit, customer service staff basically informed me that I needed to come back to reschedule a phone interview, again, with customer service. My third and final encounter lasted over 60 minutes with a phone interview. The staffer was extremely knowledgeable, helped guide me through the most complex situations and issues, and it was done very successfully. I could not imagine completing this with customer service or without customer service. Couldn't have done it. And I imagine that I am one of tens of millions of staff, of people who would have had the same story if they were actually here today. Customer service and in-person offerings should remain and continue, and I encourage everyone to still back that up. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, David. Thank all of you. So we're asking all to call or email members of Congress today and tell them to strengthen Social Security customer service. We are calling on members of Congress on both sides of the aisle to step in and step up for older Americans everywhere. This is your money. You earned it, and when it's time for you to get your money, you should not have to jump through hoops and deal with long delays and red tape to get your money. Thank you, and with that, we'll take any questions. Yeah.
Hi, are there any concerns at the federal level as to resources for improving customer service for Social Security at this time? In terms of funding?
Resources in terms of funding. That's why we're asking members of Congress to do that. I don't know of any particular ones that have been shared with us, except that they're working through a budgeting process right now. We're calling on members of Congress to prioritize making sure that customer service is one of those top concerns that they're addressing within the budget.
Are there any specific bills that you're following or supporting this legislative session?
With regards to Social Security?
Yes, yeah, sorry.
Not particularly on this issue. We are just, right now we're addressing these complaints and concerns that we've been seeing happening with, with the website crashes, with the customer service, with the long delays. And we're just hearing from so many of our members. Like I said, millions of people sent messages alone. We have 38 million members nationally, and they have been telling us this is critical for them, and they're frustrated that they haven't been able to have what they feel is good customer service to, like I said, access their own money. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Yeah.
Is there, do you know about any data that might speak to a gap in people accessing their Social Security benefits due to customer service failures?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
So,
Yeah.
do you know actually how many members are impacted by delays in customer service that may have been prevented from accessing their Social Security benefits due to these delays in online, text activity?
Any that have been prevented, it's simply been in the form of, like I said earlier, where they call, they are unable to get through, and then the call is dropped, and they're feeling frustrated, and they just have to keep calling back over and over again. And like I said, we're encouraged by the decision that Social Security Administration announced yesterday, which I would refer you to the tweet they put out about it, that they're going to continue that calling service to allow people to apply for their benefits over the phone, especially because it helps all of them, whether there's struggle with internet access, or they live in a rural area and it's hard for them to get to a local office, things like that. But that takes a lot of time. So really the frustration is in the amount of time and response that they get back, more so than it is any of them not getting the services that they need. Okay, that's it? All right, thank you very much.